This is just kind of a Jund mid-range deck. Right, but we've got a few cool tricks up our sleeve. Obviously, 3 Terror of the Peaks. I might want to play 4, honestly, but I don't want to push it too hard on the 5 drops because the deck can win without Terror. It just does really cool stuff when it does get Terror. So, a couple of things we can do in this deck. Have Terror of the Peaks. Go ahead and drop it when we already have a Vivian out. This also works with the 4-mana Garruk, but I didn't think the 4-mana Garruk was quite good enough. I played a 1-of for a while, didn't much care for it. Appreciate the sub, Vithek, you're awesome. I think I nailed that name. Maybe not. But, you know, if we already have a Vivian out when we play Terror, we can make a creature with Vivian. That's an instant bolt to a target. So, for +1, right? No mana cost. So that's kind of cool. But we can also escape creatures out of our graveyard with the Terror of the Peaks in play. So if we escape a Kroxa, that's 6 to a target. That's pretty insane on top of everything else Kroxa does. And Polukranos, if we escape Polukranos and we have a Terror out, that's 12. That's 12 to the face, son. But even if we just like play Polukranos for 4 mana, that's still 6. That's still 6 to a target, which is like really good if we have a Terror out. But all these cards are pretty good even without Terror of the Peaks. Like, Crocs is decent, Polukranos is decent, you know. They allow us to play out of our graveyard, have long game strategies, you know, a little bit more gas for if decks have a ton of removal. So I like that. Gives the deck a bunch of different dimensions while also giving it this like KO with Terror of the Peaks if Terror of the Peaks stays in play. And the big, like, stupid play in the deck is Command the Dreadhorde, which I'm carrying 2 of here, rather than, like, Liliana or Garruk Cursed Huntsman. These are cards I considered, but with a couple of copies of Command the Dreadhorde, you can do some really cool stuff. You get a Terror of the Peaks and literally anything else, then you'll get all the triggers from the other creatures when Terror enters the battlefield at the same time as them. So sometimes, so long as you don't kill yourself with the Command the Dreadhorde, you can kill your opponent by bringing a bunch of stuff out of the graveyard. And then you've got those permanents too. You know, we can kill their stuff throughout the game with all of our removal and then get it out of their graveyard with Command the Dreadhorde. So, you know, when it does work, it's pretty ridiculous in terms of like late game haymakers. So I felt like it was worth the 2 of, and it's done some pretty wacky stuff so far. But pretty much every other card in the deck is just good. You know, great hinges for gas. We've got Terror in the deck, Polukranos, Kroxa, Bone Crusher. Like all of these should make great hinge like reasonable to play. So this is just a little bit of card advantage. Again, a little bit more gas for the late game. And if we have a Terror out and a great hinge, then sometimes we get into these strings where we play a creature, deal damage with Terror, draw a card. It's a creature. Play that creature, deal damage with Terror. So getting to those kind of combo strings can be really nice too, as long as we have both great hinge and Terror out. Appreciate the bits. That's pretty awesome. Proof Rock, 1977. 500 bits. That's a lot of bits. Appreciate that. But aside from that, we've got Bone Crusher Giant and Murderous Rider. Again, I like adventure creatures with Terror of the Peaks, and here's why. It seems pretty obvious, honestly. You know, you're already getting double duty from your creatures. Adventure creatures are kind of a 2-for-1 in and of themselves already. So in this case, you not only get the spell half and you get to play a creature, but you get the spell half, and when you play that creature, Terror of the Peaks triggers, right? So imagine Murderous Ridering something, right? And then when you play Murderous Rider, you get to shock something. And that's just insane card advantage if you can actually kill a small creature that way. Same thing with Bone Crusher, right? You know, you can just play Bone Crusher in the early game or the stomp half of it, kill a small creature in mono red, and then save Bone Crusher till after you have Terror of the Peaks out, play Bone Crusher, and you can 4 something. That's a lot of damage all at one time. So, you know, I like that about adventure creatures. You can hold them back until you have Terror of the Peaks out and then start playing them. And they're, you know, protected from hand disruption, agonizing remorse, and thought erasure in the meantime. So I just like the idea of holding these in the tank until you have Terror of the Peaks. That's a cool idea, and it works in this deck. And by the way, Bone Crusher and Murderous Rider are both great early game removal spells for what that's worth. And you need them in this format. That's why we're also carrying 3 copies of Eliminate and 2 copies of Heartless Act. Heartless Act and Murderous Rider are both great cards against Winota, a card that we have to be looking out for in this format. We can hold up for either one of these and just kill Winota when it comes down. And a bunch of other stuff, right? Like Heartless Act is great against Questing Beast, a card you see a lot of in this format. And Eliminate can just take out all kinds of small stuff in the early game. Good against Scavenging Ooze, Stonecoil Serpent, all kinds of stuff. But aside from that, Paradise Druid will help us ramp into some of this bigger stuff, you know, and it's, you know, it throws in a block every now and again. It's not terrible. But I felt like we needed a little bit of ramp. Croxa, not the best 2-drop in the world compared to our other 2-drops, but sometimes it can be great in terms of, oh, I don't have a 2-drop in my hand, so I might as well play Croxa. Get something out of their hand, and then late in the game, if you have a Terror of the Peaks out, Croxa becomes amazing to escape out of your yard. The only other card in the deck is probably the wonkiest one, and that's Mire Triton. Appreciate the follow. Sad in my pants. I'm so sorry you're sad in your pants. We're going to try to make your pants a little happier. Shouldn't have said that. But Mire Triton's the weirdest looking card in the deck, but obviously this not only fuels escape for Croxa and Pelucranos, but it also puts cards in our yard for Command the Dreadhorde to get out a little bit later. It gains us a little bit of life, which can be nice when we're trying to build towards a Command the Dreadhorde. And it has Death Touch, so it's kind of, a removal element in the deck, and I like that about it. It's also basically free to get out of your yard with Command the Dreadhorde because it costs 2 to get out of your yard in life. But when it comes into play, you'll get 2 life back. So again, it's kind of a free creature with Command, as long as you have the life in the first place to pay for it. So, some weird stuff in the deck, but obviously a bunch of powerful cards. Appreciate the 300 bits, B-Play. God, y'all are already going crazy. Haven't even played a game of Magic. We've been streaming for 30 minutes. Haven't played a game. So I think it's probably time to do that after I look at chat for just a moment here and see what's been going on while I've been in deck tech mode. Well, opponent goes first, and all we can really do is Paradise Druid, which I don't love. I guess I could Fabled Passage for the red source and then Overgrown Tomb. Or Swamp on turn 2. I kind of want the Paradise Druid turn 2, though. Am I considering this hand? I am. I mean, if we get to the Vivian, it's probably okay. Oh, yep. Move it. Move it over. Move it on over. That's terrible. I mean, I'm already 0 for 1, y'all, on the CAD cam. I told myself, appreciate the bits. Illness. Wow, thanks for the bits. So what did we decide we were going to do? I am going to go ahead and get the red source. If I decide that I want to, let's go ahead. If I decide that I want to Paradise Druid turn 2, I can still do it. If I get a red source turn 1, it'll just cost me some life. Kite Sail Freebooter. Well, there goes a Vivian, but I mean, we got 2, whatever. It should be fine. But yeah, I told myself before I came on stream tonight, like, all right, dude, you're going to move the cat cam every time. Every time you go into gameplay, you're going to move the cat cam. You're not going to miss a single time. Immediately miss the time. So, let's go ahead and pop this Fabled Passage. Get a mountain. A beautiful Mirage Mountain. Get another Fabled Passage, which I'm not, like, super stoked about. Oh, gifted. We got a gifted tier 1 sub. Eric Valley of the Wind gave one to Strategist. Man. Eric, isn't that the second time you've gifted a sub? You're pretty amazing, dude. We could also Mire Triton this turn, which isn't terrible, but it doesn't really do much. So I want to go ahead and Croxy and see if we can get some more information. Martano with the follow. Appreciate that, Martano. Good to see you. They throw out an Empyrean Eagle. Interesting. So it's like Esper Flyers? That's information. It's definitely information that we needed. Here against Sling Ming. Esper Flyers. I mean, it's got to be what it is, right? Delcy with the follow. We take 1 from the freebooter. Appreciate you, Delcy. I guess this turn we just P Diddy. I don't know that I want to take 2. I think I might rather Mire Triton, but I would also rather get to Vivian next turn and just play a reach creature. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and play Paradise Druid. We can always gain some life back with Mire Triton later. It's fine. Yeah, I did sound unhappy to draw a good land. We do need our lands here, too. We need this Fabled Passage. Thief of Sanity. I was expecting that when I saw it was Esper Flyers, and here we are. Thief of Sanity is so good. We have removal spells in this deck. We need to maybe draw some. that would be pretty cool. So let's thin the deck up a little bit. But I guess I could use another red source to eventually get this Croxa back. Appreciate the follow, Progress 73. But I could also, well, I guess I have another green source. I'm going to tap Paradise Druid regardless this turn, so sadly. Let's go ahead and Viv and get a Reacher down. Get a Reacher down, reach around. You have people in the chat singing the Frasier theme song at me. I deserve that. I deserve every minute of that and more. All right, there's Command the Dreadhorde on top, which I guess I wouldn't mind drawing, but we're gonna. We're at a fine life total, actually, for now. We're kind of holding them off with these creatures. My question was, do I want a -2 Viv here and then play Polukranos? If I play Polukranos, I can start fighting with it next turns, and I'm probably going to play Polukranos regardless here. I'm not going to play Mire Trident and put the Command the Dreadhorde in my yard, so it's like, might as well. I can also play Great Henge if I take 2 here, and I'll gain the life right back. Canuck Wizard, appreciate the follow there. I do kind of want to get Henge down, but I also want to get Polukranos down. I think it's probably better to do that. We can fight stuff next turn. I'll take another Reacher. It's probably going to be pretty tough for them to deal with. Put in a tapped Overgrown Tomb. 100 bits from Illnix again with the 100 bits. Good. Thanks, Illnix. What an awesome person. We funded this whole operation, Illnix. And they scoop it up, because what are you going to do about Vivian? That's what I was saying. This deck is just full of really good cards. we didn't really do much to that game. We just, like, established, you know, sort of inevitability with Vivian, because they can't fly over and really do much to it at that point. So, yeah, it's just a good, solid game of Magic cards there that we won fairly. The deck can do that sometimes. Just mid-range. Mid-range. That's how mid-range decks play Magic. Will Move It get to the Tier 1 sub to Bipolar Panda. Generous Wizards. Generous sorcerers in my audience. Good to see y'all. Yeah, Polukranos, so you can get rid of stuff and Dreadhorde it back later. Have done that. Fight stuff with Polukranos, then command the Dreadhorde out of their yard. Illnix! With the 100 bits, what are you doing? It's like 300 bits from Illnix right now, so far. Just, jeez. Appreciate the cheers, I need them. I don't have much confidence. Let's throw down this Blood Crypt tap. McGenius with the 100 bits. Jeez. Wow. I need y'all here every stream. Let's see what's up with Hector. He throws down Mountain into Forest into Zertal Goblin. It's that kind of party, ladies and gentlemen. So is it worth taking 2 to go ahead and get rid of Zertal Goblin? Well, I guess we take 2 instead of taking 3, so that's better. Yeah, let's do it. Let's Overgrown Tomb. Now we have all of our colors. End the turn. See if a better target for this Eliminate comes up in the meantime. Sub from Ryreth. God, y'all. I thought it was over last stream. No. Return of the subs. Eric, value the win. Get to another Tier 1 sub. This time to Lost Nation JC. God, Eric. Eric just gifting Tier 1 subs like a madman. I will go ahead and tap Stomping Ground. And then Croxa, I think. I could hold up Bone Crusher, which is not a terrible play, but if they like Questing Beast or Gruul Spellbreaker, then it's worth like literally nothing. So let's just pressure their hand a little bit. See what we can do. Dev does not fear the Zertal. Not at all. Not at all. I think Zertal is a pretty bland card, honestly. But it's probably the best 2-drop, one of the best 2-drops the Gruul deck can play. So I get it. He doesn't want to play Barkite. It probably doesn't have like the consistent mana for it. Questing Beast. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. But I guess we can Rider it. We could also Polukranos, but like we have to take 2 damage to throw down Polukranos, and then we lose our Polukranos in blocks. And they could have a removal spell for Polukranos in the meantime, and we don't even get to block with it. It was just worth nothing. Right? It was worth -2 life if we do that. So I think it's worth just some murderous ridering here. Because we're going to take 2 if we play this untapped land. Appreciate the cheer. Will Move It with the 100 bits. God. Y'all. Truly humbled by the cheers tonight. Well, we got Pelt Collector on the board. That means opponent may be running out of gas. Yeah, they don't even play another creature. Super stoked to see you on Twitch, Deb. Been following the YouTubes for a while now. Love the content. Love your content, too. Sean X. Perry with the follow. Appreciate that. What do we do here? I think we probably just Polukranos. I could Bone Crusher Croxa. That's probably okay, I guess. Yeah, I want to go ahead and Bone Crusher here. I could also Bone Crusher, take 2 Bone Crusher, but I don't actually love that. I think I'd rather continue to get stuff out of their hand. Maybe we can nail an Ember Cleave here or something. How dope would that be? Another shock. We got a shock with the Firks Croxa. That's interesting. Another Blood Crypt. Sure. And say go. And now we got Bone Crusher up, Murderous Rider. If we draw Terror of the Peaks, it is on, dog. Let's go. All right, they get in Hasty Zerta. Maybe we should fear the Zerta. I guess we have Murderous Rider to deal with that, so whatever. Whatevs. We also have Bone Crusher. I guess I'll Murderous Rider. I can just do both. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I think that's probably right. Let's get the board position over them. Dev, we need your hot wrestling takes too. What's your thought on the Underground? We'll get to it maybe into the stream. I'll talk for, we usually talk for 15, 20 minutes about stuff. We'll get into it. Well, they Dummies ambush the Rider, but they don't come in with the Goblin. They don't. They're going to hang back. Well, I could Questing Beast this turn, or I could Pelucranos. I think it's actually probably better to Pelucranos this turn. Let's do it. And I could... is it worth taking 2 to go ahead and fight down the Zerta? I think it might be. Problem is, if we smash him with Bone Crusher after we fight, they could always draw Questing Beast off the top, get in 4. We go down to 4, which is not a life total I'm super comfortable with. How many cards do we have in our yard? Not enough. Not quite enough. I'll tell you what. I would rather come in with Crusher. See if they trade. They don't. And then I'll get down this untapped. And I'll say go. And then if they do nothing else, then we can just fight the Zerta. And they're going to scoop it up. And scoop it all up, son. We're 2-0 with the mid-range deck. In Standard. It can happen. In Ranked. Oh my god. You were there to see it, ladies and gentlemen. We play this deck in best of 3. I will. I think maybe one of the next time I come on stream, I'll do this deck best of 3. But I got on stream like super late tonight, and I just wanted to bang out some games for like an hour and a half or so. So I just want to see how this deck can do. And obviously, it's potential, right? Ilmix, a 1-1-1-1 again with the bits. With the bits. The bits. It's a Steven Universe joke, in case you don't get that. But appreciate the bits, everybody. Mac Genius with the bits. Y'all just bankrolling the whole stream. I appreciate that. You have no freaking clue how much I appreciate that. Guy's got to pay his mortgage and stuff. So let's go ahead and pass it. Harding with the follow. Appreciate you, Harding33. Good to see you. Pelucranos, too intimidating, 2 scoops. Yeah, both off of Pelucranos. We play Pelucranos and people just can't handle it. But opponent leads on Footlight Fiend this game, which is kind of concerning. I think that Rakdos is still a deck, so... What land do we need here? We probably need the green source more than we need the black source, I think. Although, we do want 2 black sources for Murderous Rider. We got to start working our way towards that. But I guess if we get Paradise Druid, then that is a black source. So, that kind of helps. Let's go ahead and pee, Diddy. Steven Universe reference. People freaking out. I loved like almost every moment of Steven Universe. There's some filler episodes, but altogether, man, banger of a show. Banger of a show. Opponent goes to 18 to play Priest. Uh-oh. That could be trouble. We got another cheer here. T. Carver with the 100 bits. Thank you, Carver. God, y'all. Well, we didn't get the land, so that's going to be a problem. we may lose one to Mana Screw here, ladies and gentlemen. I imagine they're going to Priest away this Paradise Druid next turn, especially when they notice that we're going to miss a drop. So it's probably worth like Croxa-ing to get something out of their hand. But I think getting behind on land drops here is it's probably going to just 86 us right off the rip. We get rid of a Scorpion from their hand. It's not bad. Yeah, what concoction is this? Yeah, Dreadhorde Terror. So far, we're 2-0 with the deck, and we have not actually seen Command the Dreadhorde or Terror of the Peaks yet, but we're trying to use Command the Dreadhorde to get Terror of the Peaks and a bunch of other stuff out of our yard, and the opponent's yard, and just dome them with a bunch of Terror of the Peaks triggers. Haven't actually done it on stream yet, but the deck has been like fairly impressive. I think the list has potential. Got a couple of people in the chat saying that the list has potential. And as we know, Twitch chat is like 200 IQ at all times. So, I mean, if Twitch chat thinks a deck has potential, a deck has potential. Trust me. So, and I don't think I've made a misplay yet. I know it's crazy. Usually I would do that, but I don't know that I've done it yet. So they go ahead and Priest because they played another Scorpion. See what they do. They're going to Woe Strider. Are you going to Mayhem Devil? You can. Mayhem Devil would hurt. There's Judith, basically a Mayhem Devil. Kind of. Well, you can play another Paradise Druid. That's something. That's something, but we still didn't get a land, so we're just like cooked. We are cooked. Go ahead. You're managing your WWE universe. JDX the Kid. I was until just recently. Well, not yet, actually. I wasn't managing my WWE universe. But I was playing 2K18. I was trying to like grind enough to get enough points to buy enough wrestlers to then start actually playing Universe. I was playing a lot of career and stuff. I was excited about playing Universe, but never actually did. Let me get back on that. I've been playing a lot of Asphalt 9 in my downtime, like when I actually play another video game. It's a free racing game on the Switch. Like it's 100% free. I've been playing it for months and I haven't spent a dime on it, and it's really fun. Like it reminds me of like old Need for Speed games and stuff. All right, the Ghost Form to Judith, so there's no reason to block that. Ghost Form is a pretty spicy card for this deck. We're done, by the way. This game's over. I'm just letting you know. Look at this board presence. Let's good game the opponent. Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do against that when you don't get lands? So we lost one to not having lands. I think there's 26 in this deck, plus Paradise Druid. So, there should be enough. But you can't always get the lands. That's magic rules. Now, this is a fine opener, but I wish you had a little bit more on the top end, but, I'm not going to complain. This is all right. The Optimator just subbed. Nice with the sub, Optimator. Good to see you. Opponent starts on Grazer into Watery Grave, so Sultai. I was just talking all that good stuff about the Sultai deck. Let's see if I was right. Let's OG Tomb turn 1 here. Sega. Vincent Van Gogh. It was the Autoraiser. There goes Command the Dreadhorde, because it's the only thing they can... Well, I mean, they can take whatever they want, but they decide to go with P. Diddy, which I guess makes sense. Well, I guess this turn we just Crusher their face, probably. And then play Bone Crusher on our turn. Oh, with the 500 bits! Eric, Valley of the Wind. Holy crap, thank you. That made me have to cough. Ooh, that gave me a frog. Sorry, promise you I don't have the cocoa. That made me go like, all of a sudden. Scubs with the subs! Appreciate you, Scubs. Yeah, I've seen you around on stream, Scubs. Good to have you subbed. I like saying scub and sub in the same sentence. That's fun. Okay, I guess we can Crocs with this turn. It could be worse, right? But I think I might rather just Bone Crusher them. They only have 3 cards in their hand, though. So I might be forcing a pretty tough decision on them if I Crocs it here, and I like the idea of that. I do like that. Best idea might be to pressure the board state, because we're definitely up against Sultai, but if I know Sultai, they got nothing but ridiculous cards left in their hands. So let's try to get rid of some of that gas. Kroger Vanilla Coke. Can there be anything better? Yes. It's not bad, though. We get a Paradise Druid, so we have got the 2 drops in this game, y'all. Do I want 4 mana this turn? Yeah, probably. Paradise Druid. And also Stomp. I like that idea. Let's P. Diddy. And we got Seth Rollins over here loaded up with the Stomp. Say go. Pepsi, Vanilla Pepsi. Oh, have a great night, Devinall. Eric, Valley of the Wind. Appreciate you coming by. Gifting all those subs. Throwing away your bits. Like, that's... You're awesome, Eric. Good to have you. I'll see you again later, dude. Pass it up. Opponent still hasn't done much, but we're just loading up for an eventual casualties of war from our opponent here. Let's put him at 13, which is not the highest of life totals, but still not that low. We keep bricking, but I guess we needed lands, but also didn't really need to brick in this way. It's Bone Crusher. Play the Stomping Ground because they know we have that. No attacks. Well, if we draw a good magic card next turn, we can play it. No matter what it is, we can play it. Scubs, get to the tier 1 subs to Jabru 619. Awesome. Yeah, Jabru should be a sub. Man, you're awesome, Scubs. Jabru's here all the time. You should be subbed, Jabru. A fellow wrestling fan, I can tell by the 619 in your name. If we brick again, we got to land this turn. So let's send some duders in. on this Narset. Then I guess I should Crusher. They want to Cultivate. One must wonder if this other card in their hand is an Ugin. One has to wonder. In which case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8. 8 mana, which is enough to cast an Ugin if that is indeed what's in their hand. So maybe I shouldn't Bone Crusher this turn. Yeah, I like that. I won't do it. Missed a land drop on purpose there, by the way. Again, we have enough mana to cast everything in our deck. There's Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I just kind of want to bluff. And they decide to just bolt. Okay, interesting. Well, let's Vivian this turn. Try to get them to actually use their Ugin. Sure, Trample. Ginger Wild 77 with the sub. Appreciate seeing that. 1, 2. I guess I'll take another black source. I'll play this land this time. And then I probably should get in on the Ugin. Just a J 101 with the follow. Appreciate the follow, dudes. I think the right idea is probably to kill this Narset, but if they want to kill the Vivian, then they're going to have to kill the Narset in the meantime anyway, so screw it. It's like we get Murderous Rider next turn, so we can take out this Ugin with that and then play Bone Crusher, and that's a line. Especially if they don't kill our Vivian, that's a pretty good line. So I would scoop it, it's over. Oh, we get Murderous Rider. If we get Murderous Rider next turn, we can maybe pull this off. I just hope they don't like Granted for a counterspell. That's a thing they could do, but I don't think they either have or play Fae of Wishes. 1 card for Kyle Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler over there. Well, here's the play. Here's the play. All right, so what we could do is +1 Vivian first. I'm just trying to sequence properly. We +1 Vivian first to see if they have some kind of response to that, and then we'll know whether or not this card in their hand is some kind of, it's just something other than a counterspell. I want to give them something to respond to, just in case. Let's give it Reach this time. They don't. Murderous Rider, the Ugin. And Chicken really wants to be let out of the room. I'm sure you can hear her back there. Let's get in on the Narset. We can for sure get rid of her this turn. I guess I'll Bone Crusher. Think about holding up Bone Crusher, playing Murderous Rider this turn so that we could use Vivian's -2 a little better later. But I don't think we're going to be -2ing Vivian this game. Sucks there's a passage on top. Or does it, actually? 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 other cards in our yard. So we need 2 more cards in our yard. Hold on. We need 2 more cards in our yard. So Fabled Passage next turn and Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, let's go ahead and block with Bone Crusher here. We can get Croxa back. I like that idea. Seems pretty good. Ooh, there's a Pelucranos we can just play. We can just play the Pelucranos. We can just do that. We can just play the Pelucranos, dog. But I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with the original plan here. I want another black source. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now notice that does kind of... Escaping stuff does kind of make Command the Dreadhorde slightly worse later on in the game. But that's okay. I mean, there was already a Command the Dreadhorde in our yard anyway. So there's only 1 more in our entire pile. Let's +1 the Viv. Give it Trample. I guess. Seems good. We can still Murderous Rider this turn too. But let's get in. We can't quite kill Vivian. But at least we'll get rid of a Boreal Grazer. And at this point, I mean, they have a Vivian, but they still have to like actually draw good cards, right? I will go ahead and Murderous Rider. No, hold on. We'll hold that. We'll hold that for now. Tawdry with the follow. Appreciate that. You're awesome. And they got to do something. Like, they have to have Ugin. Like, if they don't have Ugin, there's going to be problems. Maybe they could Hydroid Krasis. That'd be pretty dope right now. They are taking a while, which might mean that, well, no, if they're tapping mana. Well, I guess if they were paying for Hydroid Krasis' X cost, it would take them a second to do so. Well, they're tapping mana. Tense moment. Tense moment, ladies and gentlemen. Could be anything. Extinction event, yeah, possibly. I'm saying Vivian, but I mean Nissa. Yeah, I probably do. I do that a lot. Yep, it's a Hydroid Krasis. We called that. They left a mana up. Why would you leave a mana up? So you could have two. And then maybe you could cast Negate or Eliminate. Maybe it's an Eliminate. That's possible. Oh, it's Terror of the Peaks, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, okay. Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's Vivian. Put a Reacher in play. Get rid of this Nissa. Kind of want to draw the Murderous Rider. Not going to lie. I kind of think we should probably do that. Opponent at 16. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2. Put him at like 2. But we shouldn't attack with Reachers. I can't play Murderous. I can't play the spell half of Murderous Rider off the top. I really don't think I can. But can we put opponent at 2 here? Hold on. If we can put opponent at 2, that means we can kill opponent. So we're swinging with Croxa. These guys. Okay, so they block Croxa. That's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's not enough. Can I cast the Adventure half? No, and it's not going to like give me a chance to not do it. I just wanted to know. I didn't think I could because it specifically says that you can cast creature spells off the top. But hey, if we survive this turn, we get a command. Problem is, we're going to take a fair amount of trample damage from this Hydroid Krasis. Let's get some damage. Make him discard. Yeah, good to know. It is good to know. Appreciate the sub, Roadkill. I just wanted to try. I just wanted to try to see if I could get the Adventure half. I was like 90% sure I couldn't. But I felt like we should. Yeah, could we? Did we somehow miss lethal on that turn? Yeah, we wouldn't have. Yeah, they discarded a land and took 3. But if we'd have attacked with everything, I doubt they would have done that. So I don't think that's missing lethal. Casualties. Ah, no. They didn't kill either. Well, they did kill one of our Reachers. But, I mean, we survived this turn, so we win. I mean, we drew the command, so, yeah, one way or the other. 3-1, and the one game that we dropped was to Mana Screw. We only drew 2 lands that game.